Hi, everybody. Good morning. How are you? Hi. So today, good mood. Are you guys in a good mood or you're in a bad mood? Are you in a good mood or are you in a bad mood? Because I'm going to cheer you up again. Couple things. I'm glad that you're here. Make sure that someone says they're from the Panhandle. Hi, Lena. Welcome. San Francisco, Maureen Maffel, of course. Maureen, hi. Hi, Cynthia. So, couple of things. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. And I know we were talking this morning about the analytics of the show, and most people watch on television. And there is a way for you to hit the thumbs up on television. Okay. So you just go up above your timeline or whatever, and you hit the thumbs up there. You have to just scroll over. I'm like, what's going on with the thumbs up and the likes? I think people don't really know how to do it on their TVs. I'm glad you're watching on the TV because I'm glad we're in high definition. We have a new high definition camera. It's actually 4K, but I don't run it in 4K because that's a lot of bandwidth. Anyways, good morning, everybody. Palmdale, California. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Rock and Robin, who says hello to Peter, Nikki, Andy, and me. Hello, the Don. So I got a lot of great information for you today. Some of it will probably infuriate you. Some of it you will laugh at. Some of it, if you're feeling blessed, like someone in the chat says, then you're going to feel blessed. Look, I think that there's going to be, I don't see a thumbs up in here, says TikTok. It's not. You just have to smash the screen and that creates a heart. Just hit the hearts if you smash the screen on TikTok. That's all you have to do, right? That's a like on TikTok. Just smash the screen. And a like on here on the YouTube is hitting the thumbs up button. And thank you for watching us on Instagram. If you're watching us on Facebook, make sure you follow and appreciate it. If you're on Facebook, actually your comments too will be up here on the screen. I don't think Instagram is up here. I use my phone and TV so I comment and hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Lori Smith. Smart cookie. TV is pretty much the only way someone says that I watch YouTube or watch the show. Interesting. Tell us how you watch the show. Don, did you check your LGBTQ today? Says Marty. You guys really do listen, don't you? You guys know what the LGBTQ. The L is that the lighting? What's the L again?
The lemon sign.
The lemon sign.
Lemon sign. The G is what? My glasses. The B is my battery. The T is, what is it? TikTok. And the Q is quality. We'll put it that way. Would we say queen or queer? Me? Hey, check myself. Anyway, I hope you have your coffee. I have my coffee. I went to a fun event last night at the Brooklyn Museum. My friend Darren Walker from the Ford Foundation was honored last night for his philanthropy, his work in helping the world, and what he's doing with the African art collection at the museum. The Ford Foundation, I think, gave him like $1 million to take their African art collection out of storage. And so it was great, great, great. Don, you be outside. Yes, I do. Okay, so let's talk about it. The economy is shrinking. Do you guys know that? For the first quarter, for the first time since 2022. Who was president in 2022 when the economy was on the move, up and coming, going, moving? Wasn't Donald Trump, but it is shrinking. First quarter of Trump's administration, the second term, and it is shrinking. But you know, we're optimistic. He's gonna change. He's got something up his sleeve. You guys are out of your damn minds if you still believe that. Do you still believe that? And all he's doing is blaming Biden at every turn, at every single turn. So I got to ask you this, honestly. Now, tell me what you think. Is the president of the United States mentally stable? And I don't say that. I don't say that lightly. Is the president of the United States mentally stable? I'm asking earnestly. Tell me what you think. I'm not asking if he's intelligent. I'm not asking if he's a good person. You guys can make that assessment. That's a horse of another color, as they say. Has anyone ever heard that old saying? That's a horse of another color. I'm asking if he is of sound mind, if he has basic cognitive reasoning capabilities. Remember what he said about Joe Biden, which was interesting because that was the person that had our economy intact and in order. Look, and the math shows it. Oh, someone says yes. Victoria says yes. Is he stable? Okay, maybe Victoria, did you mean yes, he's stable? Yes, he's unstable? I don't know, but maybe you think he is stable. Why? Because it appears that the leader of the free world was fooled by a Photoshop image given to him by his own staff, or he's being intentionally deceptive. I want to explain because yesterday evening, President Trump, ABC News' Terry Moran, held a contentious interview in which the pair clashed over tariff policy, they clashed over deportations, and most importantly, over Kilmar Abrego Garcia's tattoos and whether he's indeed a member of MS-13. When I watched this, I was in shock. I stood up. I got back last night. I said, I want to watch this interview. So I found as much of it as I could online or on the YouTube. And it made me sit. I was laying there just kind of watching. It made me sit up going, and I said, is this man okay? Is he okay? Shall we start from the beginning? Let's just start from the beginning and we'll go through it. Andy, roll it.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much.
Here in the Oval Office, it's special. 100 days into your second term. So what's the one thing, just one thing, that you think is the most significant thing you've done so far in these 100 days?
Well, I think maybe the border is the most significant because our country was really going bad. They were allowing people to come in from prisons, as you know, and you've heard me say it, but you've heard a lot of people say it. Prisons, mental institutions, gang members, murderers. We had many murderers, 11,888, they think.
Can we pause here? Okay. Now, I'm sure that there were people coming in and they were very bad people, but this whole thing, do you guys know how this whole mental institution thing came about? This is when I say, when I ask, what's his cognitive abilities? What is going on? Because this whole thing about mental institutions, someone told him that it was people coming in who were claiming asylum. And he thinks it's a mental asylum. He thinks it's like an asylum. That's what the people around him are saying. He thinks it's an asylum, not that they're claiming asylum. He does not know the difference. So he has kept this up for years now, reportedly. He's kept this up for years now because he thinks asylum is people coming in from institutions. Keep going. So, but no fact check. Terry, come on. This is my frustration with the lack of the fact checking. I know it's tough because he rattles it up. You just have to stop him and say, that's not true. And then he gets stuck on it. And then you have to just keep him going. Watch, he's going to get stuck. He's going to have a glitch. I think he's going to need to be rebooted after this. There's a talk going on in the White House as we speak. Trust me. About this particular issue that he has fallen victim to. Keep going.
Some murdered more than one person. So you had murderers coming in, you had everybody coming in, and not just South America, from all over the world. They were emptying their prisons into our country. And now it's totally closed down. And you've seen just yesterday, they announced 99.9%. Nobody thought that could happen.
Pause.
And it happened quickly, very quickly.
Someone in the chat said Hannibal Lecter. That's true. That's how he got it, because that's how he used the Hannibal Lecter analogy, because he thought it was an asylum. Now, are border crossings down? Yes. Do we know if people were emptying their jails and their prisons? No. Perhaps there was some of that, but there is no proof of that. There's no concrete evidence of that. Not to the extent that he's talking about. Keep going.
Quickly, and I think that's very significant, but we're doing other things that are very significant. Results will take a little bit longer because it's one of those, it's complicated. It's many years of trading abuse. We've been abused by other countries for years and years. They laughed at us. They thought we were stupid people, and we're fixing it. And I think that's going to be very, very important. But
We have a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, I would really say that the border is so important. Just
and
can't
we'll get there.
let that
Immigration,
happen.
huge,
Yeah.
and we're going to get there. But I want to start with the economy, the number one issue for so many people, for just about everybody. It's one of the main reasons that you're back in this office. And now we have this trade war with China that Moody's and other analysts say is going to cost American families thousands of more dollars per year. And there is a lot of concern out there. People are worried, even some people who voted for you saying, I didn't sign up for this.
Come on, Terry,
so
get to it.
How do you answer those concerns?
Well, they did sign up for it, actually, and this is what I campaigned on. I said that we've been
pause.
abused
Now,
by
I'm gonna
other
tell you.
countries at levels.
I'm going to tell you, he's right and he's wrong about that. I don't think people thought that's what they were signing up for because they thought it's not going to affect me. He's not going to do this to me. He means other people. And he's been touting the wonders of his misguided notion about the wonders of tariffs. He's been doing that for decades. And he did it in his first term as well. I did a fact check this morning as I was writing. I wrote about this and I'm going to share it with you. But he has been touting tariffs for years, and he has been saying he's going to implement them, and they didn't believe it was going to. They believed what he said, that tariffs were going to help us and that it was not a tax on the consumer or the business. That's what they believed. So yes, it is what you voted for. You may not have known that you were voting for it, but you effed around and now you're in the find out era, period. Okay. But then this is the frustrating part is coming up because Terry doesn't really challenge him on all of his lies about the economy. And I go into depth in that in my Substack that I wrote about this morning at donlemon.com. But let's go. Keep going.
That nobody's ever seen before. We were losing $3 to $5 billion a day on trade. We were losing $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion a year. Not sustainable. They were taking advantage of us like they've never. I could have left it that way, and at some point there would have been an implosion like nobody's ever seen. But I said, no, we have to fix it. I've wanted to do this for many years. I had the best economy during my first term. We had a tremendous economy, tremendous success, and we did tremendous numbers of tariffs on. We took in a lot of money from tariffs, China in particular, hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. We had no inflation, as you know. We had an incredible economy. We're given credit for a great economy. But I said, we have to fix this. Otherwise, it's just not self-sustaining.
Well, one of the things you ran on was...
This is my frustration, guys, with, and by the way, I can't find, it's hard to find this full interview anywhere, and people are complaining about that. That is simply not true. Okay, none of what he said is true. A key affair, he is delusional, but he puts this stuff out there and people believe it. That's why I believe that you have to stop him and the likes, people like him, you have to stop them in real time, because the bullshit that they tout or they spew or spout, it goes on and people believe it. That's why people believe that tariffs aren't a tax on the consumer, because that's what he's been saying. That's why people believe that he had the greatest economy in history, and it's a flat out lie. That's why people believe he had the best stock market, because he says it, and it is a lie. So yes, I agree to you guys. It is frustrating, but they don't stop him in real time. I don't know why. Maybe they're too afraid. They figure I have to have a certain kind of decorum or whatever. I don't know, but I think it's more important for people to it's more important for the electorate, for the people, for the viewer to know the truth rather than having some fake decorum, because there's no decorum. He's not decorous there. Donald Trump is not at all. People believe their wallets in the coming weeks. They will. You're right, Courtney. So that is the frustrating thing for me. So that's the economy. We'll talk about it. Well, since we're at the economy, let's show the truth about the economy and what happened this morning. Do we have some Maria Bartiromo that we can put in here? Because, you know, she is an outright, downright, die-in-the-wool MAGA. There's nothing impartial or objective about her reporting on the economy, except when she has, you know, the numbers don't lie, when she has to give the numbers. And so Maria Bartiromo woke up to a very rude awakening on her program this morning. And a lot of MAGA folks as well, and especially the Trump administration, because while they're touting that the economy is great, we're going to do great, we're doing this, oh my gosh, this is what happened.
Welcome back. We have breaking news right now. We're getting the GDP in for the first quarter, and it is a contraction, negative 0.3%. This is the first contraction since the first quarter of 2022. Markets this morning have reversed. The Dow Industrials right now down 115 points on this contraction of the GDP. First quarter GDP, first read. We've got more coming up in terms of advances, but the first read on the first quarter GDP is in fact a contraction, down 0.3% versus an estimate of up 0.3%. First contraction since first quarter 2022. Markets reversing, down at the lows of the day, down 139 right now on the Dow Industrials. President Trump is.
Do we have the womp womp, Andy? Don't know if we have it. I'm not taking glee because I know it affects people. I mean for Maria Bartiromo, because she has to report this. That's her job on the Fox Business News, and it's not good. And so I'm sure there's some way that they're going to spin it. I don't know. Do we have the Dow? Is the market down? It may have gone back up. I don't know. But let me know if the market is down. But that was Maria Bartiromo reporting the GDP for the first quarter. Right, Barkley? That is what is, there we go. Dow Industrial Average. Down right now. What is it, 434 points as we speak? That's it today. So, yeah, we have the greatest economy. I know more than anything. I know more than the economist. I know more than the Treasury Secretary. I know more than the Commerce Secretary. I know more about the economic advisors than anybody. In the meantime, now, Donald Trump also held a press conference last night. And what did he say? Not a press conference, a rally. I mean, he was going off about the economy and blaming this on Joe Biden. He blamed it all on Joe Biden. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, it stopped by accident. Pardon me, that was me. He blamed it all. He's blaming everything on Joe Biden because he cannot get into his mind that he is effing up on the economy and that he doesn't know what he's talking about. As a matter of fact, look, this is what he's been saying. This is Biden's stock market. This is what he said. This was just a couple minutes ago. This is Biden's stock market, not Trump's. I didn't take over until January 20th. Tariffs will soon start kicking in, and companies are starting to move into the U.S. in record numbers. Now, how long have you been hearing that? Seriously, even for the diehard Trump supporters, the MAGA people. Come on. How long have you been hearing that? Tariffs are soon going to start kicking in. Where are the deals? China's not even coming to the table. Have you spoken to Xi Jinping? Well, Scott Bessent says, well, we have different metrics and they're working with different audiences. It's a lie. And you're right, Kev, the creator. What companies? Do not blame President Biden. You're right, Davida. You know why? Because what President Biden was doing, the metrics that he put in place, all of the systems were working until Donald Trump came in. And if you ask any economist, unless they have stupid MAGA brain, they will tell you this is Donald Trump's economy. What is happening, the crashing of this economy and the crashing out of Donald Trump can only be blamed on Donald Trump. This is the tariffs. That's what did it. Well, soon going to start moving to the USA in record numbers. Okay, when? What are you talking about? Our country will boom. Okay, when? Where's the boom? But we've got to get rid of Biden overhang. Now, I went out last night and I had a couple glasses of wine, but I do not have an overhang. I think he meant hangover, but that's when I say, what is he mentally okay? This will take a while. Okay, how long? Has nothing to do with tariffs, only that he left us with bad numbers. But when the boom begins, it will be like no other. Be patient. So here's the thing. Those people who have the MAGA brain, they will believe this. They in their mind somehow, I don't know how they do it, they will blame Joe Biden. And so this is what he put out today, okay? This is what I'm going to show you. I love having receipts. Are you guys ready for some receipts to show you that that it's all a grift, it's all a lie? He purposefully misleads his people, and he hopes to mislead you, because this is when Donald Trump, this is 2024, it was January of 2024 when he became the nominee. Now remember, this was more than a year ago. And he says, this is a Trump stock market. Because my polls against Biden are so good that investors are projecting that I will win, and that will drive the market up. Everything else is terrible. Watch the Middle East. And record-setting inflation has already taken its toll. Make America great again. Really, Donald Trump? So it's your stock market a year ago, but it's not your stock market, your economy now? For real, for real? You got to be out of your rabbit ass mind. Are you kidding me? And people will believe it. That's what they will believe. Now, do you believe it? Are you falling for it? So you wait to the facts on the rest of the economy, on immigration, and Abrego Garcia. I got, especially if you are a MAGA troll supporter and you're here watching, you want to stay tuned for this, because I am going to awaken you. I'm going to educate you. I'm going to inform you this morning as we speak at 10 something after the hour Eastern time. Okay? In the meantime, till we get to that, let me just say, support from this program today comes from Shopify. Okay? Shopify is our supporter and sponsor of this show today, and we appreciate having Shopify. I'm just going to tell you right off, you should go to shopify.com/lemon. Andy? Shopify.com/lemon. Let me tell you why. Because everybody has a dream. Everybody wants to be something when they grow up. Even when they're grown up, they want to be something. I would love to be president. I'd love to be all of these things. And then after a while, you guys know, right? You get tired of working for people. You get tired of being at the whims of an employer, a boss that you don't like, come in and do this and blah, blah, blah. You can't set your own schedule. You got to get up at all hours. You know what I'm talking about. And then you say, look, I would like to do my own thing. I need to start my own business. I've always had this dream of becoming an entrepreneur, of having my own business, of being able, even if you don't want to be like, I don't have to be, a quadrillionaire. That's a technical word. Look it up. I don't have to be a quadrillionaire or a gazillionaire. I would just like to be able to have a sustainable life, be able to feed my family, take care of health, all of those things. Well, that is where today's sponsor comes in, and that is Shopify. So Shopify can help you become a small business owner like I did. And by the way, we're setting up an e-commerce store soon, and we're going to do it through Shopify. Okay? So if you have a dream to start a new business, to become an entrepreneur, this is what you need to do. You need to give your dreams the best shot that they have of becoming a reality. You can turn your dreams into a ka-ching. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. from household names to brands that are just getting started, okay? Like the Don Lemon Show or the LMN, Lemon Media Network. It can help you design a website. It has beautiful, ready-to-go templates to match your brand style. If you need a hand, get help with everyday tasks like enhancing product images, writing product descriptions, or generating discount codes with Shopify's AI tools created for commerce. What if people haven't heard of my brand? Shopify helps you find your customers with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns. And what if I get stuck? Shopify, always around to share advice. Award-winning 24/7 customer service, okay? So turn your dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. So sign up for your $1. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? $1 per month trial and start selling today. Go to shopify.com/lemon, 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 and turn your dreams into ka-ching. So thank you. We're so glad that we have our own entrepreneurial spirit on this show, and we like to support entrepreneurs. Okay, so let's get back to the program. All right, so you guys know about this whole thing about the border. Okay, yes, you have to give credit where credit is due, whether it is the methods by which he's doing it. Some people may not like that. But Kilmar Abrego Garcia, there has been some, the whole thing has been about due process and whether or not he is truly a member of the MS-13 gang. Why didn't he get due process? Then the administration admitted that they said it was a technical glitch or a paperwork or something, a flaw, a mistake, that he was sent to this El Salvadorian gulag, what some folks are calling a concentration camp. Well, Donald Trump has a few things to say about that. Terry Moran, to his credit, challenged him on this issue, but I believe in the end, by moving on, he just kind of, I think, let him off the hook. I would have leaned into this part because if someone is talking about it and they want to talk about it, you just, okay, let's talk about it. And then what you do is you're a person of a few words. When he's going on and he says, he has tattoos on his hand. Okay, where's the evidence? It's in this picture. That was Photoshop. What do you mean it's Photoshop? Those are computer-generated letters. What are you talking about? Donald Trump doesn't understand. Sir, perhaps you don't understand that what they were doing is trying to show you, indicate what the symbols on his fingers meant by adding the MS-13. They were saying this symbol means M. So they put an M there. Someone wrote it in to explain to you or someone. They put an S there to explain to you what that symbol they believe it meant. They put a 1 there, generated it to show you what they believe this is a 1, and the 3. So those actual MS-13, those letters are actually not on his fingers. Now, this is why I'm asking you if he's mentally there, or if he's being intentionally deceptive, or if his staff is deceiving him, or maybe they don't get it either. Maybe that's what, thank you, he believes anything someone said that Stephen Miller tells him. Maybe it was Stephen Miller who said that. So this whole exchange where he is just not grasping it, he does not get it. He thinks the letters and the numbers on the hand they are real. He can't get it. Like Hannibal Lecter, seeking asylum. Let's listen.
I think the rulings will be overturned, yeah.
Let me ask you about one man and one court order. Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's the Salvadoran man who crossed into this country illegally, but who is under a protective order that he not be sent back to El Salvador. Your government sent him back to El Salvador and acknowledged in court that was a mistake. And now the Supreme Court has upheld an order that you must return him facilitate his return to the United States. What are you doing to comply?
Well, the lawyer that said it was a mistake was here a long time. was not appointed by us. Should not have said that. Should not have said that.
Okay.
And just so
Okay.
you
He
understand,
just said,
the person that you're talking.
real quick, hold on. He just said the quiet part out loud. The lawyer was not appointed by us, meaning that he thinks or he believes or possibly true that he can get a lawyer to say whatever he wants, whether it is true or whether it is legal. It shouldn't matter if the lawyer was appointed by you. The lawyer works for the Justice Department. The lawyer is tasked with doing a job. But he believes that he is in control of the Justice Department, the judiciary, the judges, all of them, and the lawyers. And the lawyer should be saying exactly what he wants rather than the truth. He just said it out loud. And Terry glossed over it. And I would have said, well, what are you saying? That only your lawyers can tell the truth? Or are you saying your lawyers will say whatever you want them to say, or whatever your investigators or your Homeland Security person or your border czar, Tom Homan, would do what you want them to say? Is that what you're saying? Still nothing. Anyway, keep going.
Talking about, you're making this person sound. This is a MS-13 gang member, a tough cookie, been in lots of skirmishes, beat the hell out of his wife, and the wife was petrified to even talk about him, okay? This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from Maryland.
I'm not saying he's a good guy. It's about the rule of law. The order from the Supreme Court stands, sir.
He came into our country illegally.
You could get him
Okay,
back.
pause.
There's a phone on this desk.
Okay, pause. That's very important too. But let me tell you, now I want you to listen to this. As I told you real quick, Andy, just right here, can you put the picture up of with the MS-13 on the fingers, right? Okay. So you guys see that is computer generated. I just want you to explain that. Okay, this is allegedly Kilmar Abrego Garcia's hand and tattoo. Now you can see the MS-13, right? Now, does that look real? Do you understand how I explained it? And everybody, can you see that? Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a very important part of the lesson. Now, does that look like it's part of the tattoo, or does it look like they're trying to tell you it's an M, right? S. So they're trying to tell you this is what these symbols allegedly mean. That's what they believe that they mean. He does not have MS-13 on his fingers. Do you see what I'm saying? And the other thing I want you to get is he contradicts himself so much here. He said, Terry Moran says, there is a phone right on this desk and you can call them and tell them to send him back. And then he said, I could, of course, but I'm not going to do it. And then he said, watch, listen closely. Next he's going to say, but I can't do it. So which is it? You won't do it, you can't do it, or you can do it. What is it? Okay. All right. So back it up a little bit and listen to the phone thing, just a teeny bit. And then there we go. And then here we go.
Came into our country illegally.
You could get him
Oh,
back.
oh,
There's
sorry,
a
pause.
phone on this desk.
And he doesn't understand. I hate to keep doing this. He doesn't understand the concept of due process. He thinks an allegation is enough without due process, without a hearing, to be able to do whatever you want to someone because they are accused of something. And that is not how our law and our court system and our Constitution work in this country. He cannot get that concept. That's why I say, is he there? Okay, here we go.
Came into our country illegally.
You could get him back. There's a phone on this desk.
I could.
You could pick it up, and with all the power of the presidency, you could call up the president of El Salvador and say, send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has ordered you to facilitate that.
I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers that don't want to do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law. You want me to follow the law? If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he is.
Supreme Court says what the law is.
Listen, I was elected to take care of a problem. It was a unforced error that was made by a very incompetent
right here,
man.
pause,
a man
please.
that turned out to be
Pause. He caught him. He was getting himself caught up. And all I had to do with Terry was to say, which is it? You can or you can't. Are you following the law or you're not? The lawyers have more power than you. I mean, he got all tongue-tied. His brain was fried right there. You're right, whoever said that. And Terry, that was a missed opportunity. But keep going, sorry.
Incompetent that you always said was wonderful, great genius, right? And now you find out all of the media now, they're saying what a mistake they made. A man who was grossly incompetent allowed us to have open borders where millions of people flowed
now
in.
it's about
I
open
campaigned on that issue. I wouldn't say it was my number one issue, but it was pretty close.
Right up there.
I campaigned on that issue. I've done an amazing job. I have closed borders. He said you couldn't do it. You wouldn't be able to do it. It would never happen. Well,
Okay,
it
pause.
happened. And it happened very quickly. Wait a minute.
Do you guys notice how it has changed from due process to I can and I cannot do it? Now it is Biden's fault. He's shifted to something else. He is spinning. He totally shifted to something else, and he's trying because he realized, like, wait a minute, what do I say? Holy shit. Okay, how do I get myself out of this? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's Biden's fault, and he had open borders, and now I have closed borders, and this is a bad guy. He just keeps going on. And Terry has told him it's not about he's a bad guy. He may very well be a bad guy, but that is not. We have due process in this country. I am asking you if you are going to abide by the Constitution, and why doesn't the folks who you are accusing of whatever it is that you're accusing them of, why don't they have due process? It's un-American. Right. Bit grease. Trump is making me dizzy with all of these spins. Yes, he is spinning. Keep going.
When we have criminals, murderers, criminals in this country, we have to get them out, and we're doing it.
By law.
And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his
Watch the
knuckles,
spin.
he had
This spin gets him into
MS-13.
trouble. Back up a little bit,
Wait
Amy.
a minute.
This
Wait a
is the
minute.
spin
Yeah.
that's going to get him into trouble. This is a spin that he shows that he has a brain glitch. And I think now someone is going to explain to him in the Oval Office, or they're going to keep lying to him, but there is a discussion, I am sure, about the MS-13. I'm sure, and they're going to try to correct this. But this is where he glitches. Watch.
Said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Well,
over that.
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not
Don't
have the
do that.
letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshop. So let me
That
just...
was Photoshop. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice.
Okay, here's go. Pause.
We'll agree to disagree.
You're not being very nice, and he starts when he gets caught, or you start to challenge him, then it gets personal. You're not a nice person. You are. I don't know who you are. I picked you. This is a chance of a lifetime. Look, either you just do what Terry did, and you say, okay, you can think of me whatever you want to think of me, but I'm here to do a job, Mr. President, and that is to ask you questions, and that is to, quite frankly, hold truth to power. And so I would like a direct answer. You can insult me all you want, doesn't whatever. Or you can say, do you really want to now, do you really want to start to go down the road of personal insults, of ad hominem insults? Because I could do the same thing with you, but I won't. So can we just get back on track? You're not a nice person. You're not a nice person too, because especially if you don't understand what I'm saying, either you're intentionally lying to the American people or you don't understand what I'm saying. So let me explain, please. Yes, keep going.
I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir. I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but
they're in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look at that.
It's you do
We'll take a
such a
look at that.
disservice.
We'll take a look at
Why
that,
don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested. Ukraine.
Coming up,
Y'all. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Do you understand? Tell me, please. Seriously, I'm not going to do the mic thing because I know you can hear me. But when we say interview with a moron, now Terry could have said, well, sir, look, let me explain what I'm saying because I'm not trying to insult you, nor am I trying to deceive the public. When I say to you that there are symbols on his fingers, or tattoos on his fingers that can be construed as that, but that is not, how do I say this? That can be construed as such, but that has not been proven that it's any of that. Simply what the person who took this picture was trying to point out is that they believe that is what these symbols mean. He doesn't actually have MS, the letters and the numbers MS13 on his fingers. I hope you understand that. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's no M, there's no S, there's no 1, there's no 3. There are symbols, and someone tried to tell you that this is what they believe those symbols mean. He can't get it. It's crazy. And so look, all right, so right there, that is allegedly a photo of him, of Abrego Garcia's fingers. It's not there. This is when Tom Homan went to visit him. Excuse me. Yeah, Tom Homan. No, not Tom Homan. Chris Van Hollen. Pardon me. Chris Van Hollen went to visit him in El Salvador. That's his hand with the fingers. No M, no S, no 1, no 3. The tattoos are still there, though. Can't get it. This is him in the Oval Office. He has been showing this. He believes it. He thinks it's real. He's been showing this off in the Oval Office, people. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is why I said interview with a moron. This is the person leading our country. Now, do you think that he believes it because someone told him, and when he looks at that, he thinks that those are real tattoos, those letters and numbers? Or do you think he's being intentionally deceptive and he knows that him and his folks have to put out this information to get the public to buy in? Do you think that's what it is? I mean, it is just too much. It's unbelievable. It is either way, it's terrible. Either he's a moron or as a sign, there's an old sign of someone, a Trump supporter, holding up a sign at, not a Trump supporter. Yeah, Trump supporter holding up a sign saying, you guys are morons, but they spell it Moran, which would have just been, which is kind of too weird because the reporter, this was years ago, the reporter is actually Terry Moran, and the guy, they spelled moron wrong. Crazy. So let's go to the Substack, okay? And let's read it because I lay it out for you plainly and clearly in my Substack, okay? So all one must do is go to the Don Lemon, just go donlemon.com to Substack, and I explain it to you, and you will get more analysis there, okay? And so in the Substack, this is what I call it. I say the glitch in the machine. What we saw in Donald Trump's latest interview wasn't just misinformation, it was detachment. And the most dangerous glitch may no longer be his alone. Now, is it, when people say it's not me, it's you, is it not him? Maybe it's us. Okay. And so I'm just going to read through it because I think it's very important that you understand this and that you can tell this to the folks who are saying, oh my God, I think that we should, give him some time. And okay, there comes a time in the life of a nation that must choose between the comfort of myth and the discomfort of truth. We are living in that time now. This is very important. Now, you could see it in Donald Trump's recent interview with ABC's Terry Moran, a moment that should have been about clarity, leadership, or at the very least accountability, instead became a window into something much darker, not just evasion, not just arrogance, but detachment. It is dangerous. The kind of detachment that occurs when a man mistakes performance for policy and propaganda for proof. This is propaganda. He believes it. Now, is he being intentionally deceived by these people, by his own people? Maybe. Asked about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland father deported despite a federal judge ruling his removal unlawful, Trump didn't blink. He claimed the man had MS-13 tattoos on his knuckles. It's right there in the photo, he said. That's what he said during the interview, except it wasn't. There's no verified evidence that Abrego Garcia was ever affiliated with MS-13. No confirmed tattoos. Experts say the photo Trump referenced may have been altered. Still, he pushed forward as if the truth were a minor inconvenience rather than the foundation of justice. This wasn't just misinformation. It was a glitch, a rupture in the narrative. A man whose reality is so rigidly self-curated that when it collides with facts, it buckles. He freaks out. He glitches. And the glitch didn't stop there. Okay? So I'm going to fact check you because I wish that, I think Terry Moran is great. Terry Moran does Nightline. He's great. And I know it's a tough job. So I don't mean to just criticize him. I'm just telling you what I would do. Trump repeated the claim. The glitch didn't stop there. Trump repeated the claim, one he's made for years, that he presided over the greatest economy in the history of the world. That's not exaggeration. That is fiction. The numbers don't lie. Keep going. Yes, the unemployment rate dipped to 3.5% in 2019. That's when he was president. Yes, the stock market surged, but these were not feats, born of singular brilliance. He leaves out a lot here. They were the result of a decade-long recovery that began under President Barack Obama. These are the facts. This isn't the spin. This isn't the bullshit that he's going to tell you. He drafted off of Barack Obama's economy. And remember, Barack Obama pulled the economy out of the toilet from George Bush. I'm just saying. These are the facts. Read them and weep, MAGA and Donald Trump and his administration. They were the result of a decade-long recovery that began under President Barack Obama. GDP growth under Trump never exceeded 2.9%. And remember, the first quarter now, it is down the first time since 2022. The same high Obama reached in 2015. Obama had the same high in 2015. The trade deficit widened. And when the pandemic struck, nearly 22 million jobs vanished under Donald Trump. By the end of his term, the economy had a net loss of nearly 3 million jobs. But we had the best economy under Trump. Yet in Trump's telling, those losses never happened, just like those tattoos. He claimed inflation was a Biden-era problem, but the truth is more complicated than that. Inflation peaked to 9.1% in June of 2022, and yes, that was under Joe Biden. High, yes, but not the highest in American history. He says that in the interview, that it's the highest in 40 years, but maybe the highest ever, not the highest. And certainly not caused by one man alone. Again, I'm giving you facts. The surge was the result of a pandemic-scarred supply chain, an overstimulated economy, and global shocks like the war in Ukraine. And Trump's fingerprints are on the foundations of this. Let me explain, because people like to start at a certain point in time to give you bullshit, to taint the narrative, to change the narrative in their favor. His administration approved over $3 trillion in emergency relief. Necessary, yes, but inflationary over time. His tariffs on Chinese imports acted as stealth taxes, quietly raising prices on goods from washing machines to construction materials. Biden's $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan added fuel to the fire. There is some blame to go around, but it wasn't just Biden. He keeps trying to blame Biden. Donald Trump's fingerprints are all over the foundation of this. Both presidents spent. The pandemic broke the supply chain. The demand came roaring back, and working families bore the costs. Remember how poorly he handled the pandemic. It was going to go away. It was the flu. Do not take it seriously. In the meantime, our economy was going off a cliff. So Trump stood in front of the camera and pretended it had nothing to do with him. When asked about his Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in this interview from last night, currently under investigation for using encrypted messaging apps to discuss classified military operations, Trump didn't engage. He scoffed. What a stupid question, as if accountability were beneath him. He then claimed that Vladimir Putin probably wants peace in Ukraine. On the very same week, Russia launched missiles at civilian cities. If this were satire, we call it too on the nose. They would say, this is too much. You can't do this. But you want to say satire. But the most unsettling moment may not have come from Trump himself, but from what he allowed to happen in silence. When his current senior advisor, Stephen Miller, and I'm getting to the heart of what's going on here, stood before the press and falsely declared that the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 in their favor in Albrego Garcia's case, Trump said nothing. He let him go on. Maybe he believed it. The truth? The court ruled 9-0 against the administration. That's not a slip. That is a strategy. So we're left to ask, is this blind, the blind leading the blind? Is it the delusional leading the delusional? Or the intentionally deceptive leading the intentionally deceived? Which is it? Because the glitch isn't just the man. It's the machine that sustains him. It is the MAGA folks who believe him. It is the machine, the infrastructure around him that causes him to say these things, and then he believes it. And it is the media outlets that carry his distortions unfiltered and unchallenged in the moment. It's in the political class that finds his lies It's in the political class that finds his lies useful. It's in the public fatigue that confuses repetition with truth. And yes, it is in us if we're not careful. We are no longer debating policy. We are debating reality right now. Why the fuck are we debating reality? We're still giving airtime to a man who can't or won't differentiate between the story he tells and the country he's breaking. The danger is not simply that Trump believes his own myths. It's that millions do too. Millions of people believe it. The MAGA folks believe it. And people who are not even MAGA believe it. There are probably people out there who are saying, I thought the man had MS-13 tattoos on, and they're not Trump supporters. They probably believed it because they hear it. The repetition about the greatest economy, the repetition about inflation, the repetition about the stock market, all lies, and people believe it because they repeat it. We must not let this moment pass without reflection, because if the glitch is no longer just his, if it lives in our institutions, in our silence, if it lives in our institutions, this glitch in our judicial system, in the Department of Justice, in the media, if it lives in the institutions or in our silence, in our willingness to pretend that this is normal, false equivalency, normalizing, then the machine isn't just malfunctioning, it is rewriting the truth. It is whitewashing Donald Trump's history, his past, his present, and his future. And what we do next will say everything about whether we still recognize it. If we are allowing ourselves to be intentionally deceived because 1, apathy, 2, it's too hard to fight against, 3, we just relent, or 4, we want to believe it. That interview was a humdinger of an interview where he believes his own lies, or he is too stupid to understand reality. So go to donlemon.com, go to Substack, subscribe. You can subscribe for free, or you can be a paid subscriber. Remember, we always need your support as independent journalists to be able to even write that. I have not seen a lot of reporting, and look, maybe I just haven't seen it on this interview last night, at least not in depth, at least not fact checking the way that we have been fact checking. We don't have enough reporters who are in real time who will do it. You have to cut these guys off in the moment and say, whoa, 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 that's not true. Yet and still, folks don't do it. But anyways, let's shout out some new members. And thank you, Maureen Marfell. All right? Because of Maureen's generosity, 5 people get to become members of Elimination. And make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button, okay? The like button is the thumbs up button. And make sure you subscribe. It's right at the bottom of the screen, right next to the Don Lemon Show logo, somewhere around there. Sandra Lusk, welcome to Elimination. Don Lemon and crew, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Thank you for being with us, Sandra. Thank you for being part of Elimination. Peace for Lisa. Because of Peace for Lisa's generosity, 5 people get to become members of Elimination. Okay? Welcome, BD Hull, to the Elimination. Welcome, Shorty 5.0 to the Elimination. Welcome to all of our new members. Sydney Berquist. We're so glad that all of you are members. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. Don, thank you for not selling out and for creating this space for Elimination. We appreciate you and your staff. MD loves you, Maryland. It's Nini. Thank you. Love you guys too. So it's not what they say, it's what they do, says Leslie Zachary. Thank you for that, Leslie. Okay, so guys, welcome to all of our new members. Thank you so much. Make sure you do the things that I have asked, and thank you for supporting us. I'm going to see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern for our Lemon Live at 5. Ray Mel, good morning. Welcome to the Elimination. Robin Meldon, welcome to the Elimination. Good morning to you. So I'll see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to drop some content at 2 o'clock, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But until then, you don't have to sit around and you don't have to become angry. You don't have to watch all day. You don't have to become unnerved. You can keep your peace and your sanity and tune in to the folks like me who are just going to tell you what you need to know. You can, of course, there are things, you do what you want. This is me telling you that. Okay. So new members, welcome. Thank you for your support. And as I say all the time, smash that screen on TikTok, hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Come join us on YouTube. It is our full frontal show. And thank you for watching us on Instagram and also on Facebook. And then later you'll be on Spotify, iHeart Radio, and Apple Podcasts. Okay? So until I see you live at 5 o'clock, turn the TV off.
Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.